Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Muppets of Galaxy's Edge.
Hey, what's going on here? I'm Captain Link Hogthrob, and this is my spaceship.
That explains everything.
Why don't you let me explain? I'm Luke Skywalker. My friends and I have just borrowed your spaceship so we can rescue our friend, Chewbacca the Wookiee.
I would like to start off this video by saying I'm a massive fan of both Star Wars and of the Muppets. This, however, will not stop me from saying what I imagine to be true within the next 7 to 10 years, give or take, for Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World in Florida. See, I believe its courtyard in Grand Avenue will be hosting its last presentation of Muppet Vision 3D here soon. Gone will also be Pizza Rizzo's, Gonzo's Royal Flush, Stage 1 Company Store, which is basically on its last leg anyway, let's be serious. And also, yes, unfortunately this means that Muppet Vision 3D 2 is in dire trouble. The whole area is now in an identity crisis of its own thanks to Disney no longer caring about cohesive theming and care for some of their classic IPs. So enjoy your last looks at the Miss Piggy's fountain in the center of the courtyard while you can. Seems Kermit and friends are ready to close up shop soon, in my bold prediction.
This is Jim Henson's Muppet Vision 3D. Yeah, good.
What leads me to believe that the whimsical and chaotic fun of the Muppets will be making an exit within the decade at Disney's Hollywood Studios, you may ask. Simply put, Star Wars. What's the one thing separating Galaxy's Edge and Star Tours? You guessed it, it's the Muppets. I believe Disney thinks that people want Star Wars more than we can sometimes bite off and chew. So I believe the Muppets will be sacrificed for an easy expansion of Galaxy's Edge, and also to connect Star Tours finally with Galaxy's Edge, which honestly, I have been thinking for a while, Star Tours needs to have residence within the land somehow, ever since Galaxy's Edge was announced way back on August 15th, 2015. At the time, I and many other fans were puzzled. Star Wars Land? Would it include Star Tours? Would it go within Tomorrowland, to which Star Wars already heavily had a presence? I was pleased that it didn't end up touching Tomorrowland, as Star Wars and Tomorrow are two completely different things in my opinion. I have always found it kind of annoying that Disney has lost sight of Walt's vision of Tomorrow, and kind of has always shoehorned in as much Star Wars and Tomorrowland as they could, to simply make an easy buck within Disneyland. However, no such problem came to mind with Hollywood Studios, which too would receive its own Galaxy's Edge. It seemed perfect to put it in an expansion area in the back of the park. Little did Kermit and his gang know that Star Wars would possibly kill their business. Always thought it was a tragedy that Muppets never got a chance to have a more prominent presence within Hollywood Studios. I would have loved to see the vision the Imagineers had for a spin on the Great Movie Ride. The Great Muppet Movie Ride. I think this idea sounded amazing, and would offer that aesthetic lost to time for Disney's Hollywood Studios. The movies, but making it fun and enjoyable with the Muppets. Another future video, I will go over the history of the Great Muppet Movie Ride. So yes, to make a topic shorter than it needs to be, I believe Star Tours will officially become part of Galaxy's Edge in the nearer than later future. I will be putting out a new video on how I think that will fit in the land, and the future of Galaxy's Edge, a bit of armchair imagineering too. I'd like to finish this video out by armchair imagineering with you for a bit. For those that don't know what armchair imagineering is, simply just imagine I was hired by Disney as an Imagineer and got to call the shots on future projects and rethemes, new rides, etc. The blue sky is the limit with this. So please bear with me and enjoy my ideas, so none of this is grounded in reality or probability. Bearing that in mind, let me continue with Imagineering, a way that we could have the best of both worlds, the Muppets and Star Wars, allowing them to peacefully coexist in the area and completing Galaxy's Edge. I'm going to start with that idea. Imagineers had a long time ago, and combined the Muppets with a bit of satire with their own park. Much like the Muppets were going to take over the Great Movie Ride in their own land, I want to bring the Muppets first to Star Tours itself. Imagine it now. The galaxy's Star Wars, after all, leads very much to the imagination. Who's to say the Muppets don't reside on a planet in the galaxy far, far away? In the context of Disney park storytelling, we are going to say they do. can even be on the other side of Batuu if we want. We approach the new Galaxy's Edge a little before the entrance to Star Tours itself. Star Tours will have underneath it that all too familiar Muppet riding, tours conducted by the Muppets or something to that effect. Want to avoid under new management due to the travesty that was the Tiki Room under new management. The queue of Star Tours would no longer be built like a movie set, rather the AT-AT would be completed on the backside too. And we can keep the Ewok Village. You will see little animatronic Ewoks running on the bridges, occasional Muppet disguised in the Ewok costume as one of Gonzo's many chicken friends, and a couple other various Muppets. Inside, we see the giant screen showing various planets to visit around the Star Wars galaxy, and some new Muppet-like planet, hosted by Kermit the Frog in Jedi-like robes, pointing out various sites, etc. We also still have the calamari operating in the upper booth. However, we can now spot Uncle Deadly or someone to that effect inside with them as a full animatronic pointing out things on the computers, etc. Inside, we will see the familiar Star Speeder 3000. R2-D2 and C-3PO still have their normal place overseeing operations on the repair of the Star Speeder. However, now we will see something like Dr. Teeth in the Electric Mayhem trying to paint and change the speeder to more resemble the bus they drive around in what you see in the Muppets movie. 3PO constantly arguing with the crew about how it's not professional and will not look good for the Star Tours brand as a whole. 3PO will mention that it has to be pristine for a special client that has ordered that speeder today, to take him and some friends to meet his family on another alien planet. Stay tuned for who that will be. We see the droids who conducted the baggage claim now with various Muppet Easter eggs in the scanners of the baggage claim. Replacing various Star Wars character silhouettes walking by, we now have another screen showing 3PO explaining that Gonzo is the special guest today and needs to report to the launch station immediately. 3PO also informs that you, the guest, are his special friends. Gonzo has so courteously invited along, and to hurry along as well, and no pushing and shoving. We still have the Patrick Warburton and droid conducting searches, etc. of various Star Wars and Muppet Easter eggs. Move along, people, he will say as well. Don't worry, we won't lose this classic treasure. Inside the loading area, we will see the Muppets have truly taken over. Rather than the basic and sleek design we are used to in this area, we will now see something that more closely resembles the holding area in Muppet Vision 3D. Various cargo and props strewn around the ceilings and railings. The ride operators will be dressed in Star Tours green after the boss Kermit himself. We will then watch the safety video as well. The video will feature Kermit trying to give a calm and relaxed safety demonstration with 3PO. Of course, the crazy antics of the Muppets will ensue. We see cameos of various characters shuffling around the launch bay. R2-D2 is seen working on all too familiar droid in the background. It is the new version of Captain Rex himself. I thought it'd be great to bring Captain Rex back with this Star Tours iteration. 3PO explains that he has had enough flying to last till his circuits burst, and this captain is new and improved. Rizzo the Rat enters on the screen, pleading with 3PO that they use a model based off his best pal Pepe the Shrimp. He rolls in the metallic droid, with those air quotes heavily implied, and it looks like Pepe himself. It is obviously just Pepe painted silver by Rizzo, as you can see the silver paint in the background of the shot. Pepe, in an attempt to sound like a droid, moves his arms as well to convince Kermit and 3PO he should be pilot. Excuse me as I attempt to do this. We can't have all this foolishness, Kermit cries. 3PO agrees. After all, this flight today is a special one for Gonzo, and he's invited guests to go meet his family on his home planet. In the robotic voice, Pepe says something like, we know Gonzo, okay? We are his best friends, okay? So who better to help oversee today's flight than us, okay? Rizzo shakes his head violently, up and down in agreement. Kermit consults with 3PO. Ladies and gentlemen, in Spirit of Life Day, an obvious jab at the terrible Star Wars Christmas special, very much in the style of Muppets humor, we've decided that Rizzo and Pepe says, I am Pepe 3000, okay? Kermit continues, and Pepe 3000 will help co-pilot this tour. You two please report to Captain Rex now. Kermit shovels them along to the Star Speeder 3000 as raised to the launch deck. 3PO then turns to the camera with the basic instructions, as we see various Muppets doing in the background. Now boarding appears, and the doors open to you. The Star Speeder did receive its Electric Mayhem makeover to the dismay of 3PO's groans in the distance, offset. Inside the cabin looks very much the same. We sit and do the usual onboard safety checks, then the doors close and we sit in silence. Ladies and gentlemen, aliens and other things, I'd like to welcome you to today's tour to Gano. I think that's how you pronounce this. Is actually referenced as the name of Gonzo's alien planet he is from in Muppets Baby in 2019. So, fun fact there. And Kermit comes on, hi ho, and I'm Kermit the Frog, here to help you guide out safely from our hangar here at Star Tours today. Allow me to introduce you to your captains. Backdrop drops and a red curtain covering figures on two sides. The first curtain, I thought the red curtains would be great in the Muppets style, to kind of combine that in Star Wars, so that's why those are there. The first curtain drops like in a theater production, revealing Captain Rex. He does the same basic spiel of how it's his first flight, etc. Then the other curtain drops, revealing animatronics of Pepe 3000 and Rizzo the Rat. They then introduce another animatronic to sit with them up front since it's a special today, and we see Gonzo, who's the other animatronic. Witty banter ensues as Captain Rex attempts to get us out of the bay. Rex, of course, struggles as the Muppets say witty things, trying to correct him, only making it worse. Much like the previous Star Tours, you'll be stopped by Darth Vader, stormtroopers, and sometimes Miss Piggy dressed as Vader. Fozzie Bear even sometimes will make an appearance as the Emperor, or Uncle Deadly I thought might make a good Emperor if he's not up with calamari, showering you with a bad joke if it is Fozzie, as water effect hits you. Then it's off you go, en route to destinations, only to be hit off course by a Star Destroyer and have to go through various planets to escape as you are now enlisted in the Rebel cause. The usual of Yoda or various heroes will appear referencing the Rebel spy that previously mentioned villains will call out. They send you on a galaxy-hopping course to deliver the plans that the Rebels need coincidentally on the planet Gano. That's G, the number 0, and the number 0, so please correct me in the comments if that's wrong. You are off at light speed, the first of 3 random planets to visit, much like the previous Star Tours, except added Muppet elements, etc. Then you finally reach Planet Gano and see Gonzo's family celebrating his arrival. And you see the Gonzo animatronic hurriedly run for the exit doors as Rex yells, "No, we are not properly air-sealed yet!" Sorry for the terrible impersonation. Gonzo opens the doors, and all the doors open, the fog sheets in the cabin. And you hear Yoda or Kermit say, "May the Force be with you. Please come back and fly with us at Star Tours again real soon." Something to that effect, the Muppets would say. The exit you can see in the normally dark pit area below the bridge as you exit Gonzo and other animatronic Gonzo-like Muppets celebrating and his arrival and all that, kind of having a party. And you are now on his alien planet for half the queue, till the other half says, "Escape shuttle this way to Batuu," and some Muppet-like writing, some antics with that, and then you exit through the gift shop and out on the Muppet part of that too. I'm thinking the Muppets can almost have an embassy of sorts on Batuu to explain why they're there exactly. So there you have it, my reimagined Star Tours featuring the Muppets. I actually just got started on the land, so I'm thinking this will be a 3-part series. Next I will focus on the courtyard area of the Muppets and how that will change to fit in with Batuu and what exactly happened in Muppet Vision 3D itself, as well as the restaurants, etc. In the last part of the series, I will focus on my reimagination of Batuu itself, how I think it needs a change for the guests to be more pleased and all the Star Wars fans within us. Because let's be serious, I don't think Batuu is 100% what we were wanting or expecting. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Subscribe by hitting that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up icon to like the video, it helped me a lot. Turn on bell notifications by clicking the icon of the bell to be notified of new and future videos. We will be trying to put out 1 to 2 a week. Also, please comment your thoughts and opinions on my ideas. Share your own as well if you loved it. If you hated it, and sharing your own ideas would be great to hear as well. I'd love to hear. And as Star Wars always says, may the Force be with you. Hope you all have an amazing, magical day. Look out for Part 2 and Part 3 of Muppets Courtyard and Galaxy's Edge Reimagined. Thank you so much.
Age, country limit, I don't need a guide for the life.